Path Media. I was a minimum wage movie theater usher that made good and became a top earner in my network marketing company. Now, after 16 plus years in the profession, I'm finally teaching myself how to leverage the internet with online marketing and social media marketing to continue to grow and expand my business. My name is Ronnie Cruz, and this is Path of the Network Marketer.
All right, welcome back to the show. Today, we're going to talk about AI. That's right, AI. Dun, dun, dun. It's a dun, dun, dun episode. All right, so before we get into all of that, I want to remind you, if you're not already part of our Facebook community, come join us on Facebook. It's facebook.com/group/path of the network marketer. More value there, more content there outside of this podcast, outside of this show. I go live about 2 to 3 times a week with more tips and more tricks as you take your business online. So again, it's facebook.com/groups/path of the network marketer. Okay, so AI, I really want to get into this because it's been at the top of a lot of conversations lately. I'm inspired to do this episode because the guys, Luis and Luis at BizBros recently talked about it on their podcast. I'll put the link of that particular episode in the show notes of today. But I want to chime in and give my 2 cents on AI because it is very prevalent right now, and it's hot buzz. It's a hot buzz. I mean, it's been a hot buzz for a little while, but it's gotten to kind of this fever pitch, especially as AI has moved more into kind of the consumer sphere, right? We see content consumers start to utilize AI just for fun, right? Like as the latest example is, on Instagram and Facebook, people posting these AI generated photos of themselves in these different kind of AI created quote unquote paintings. Right. So these AI applications, there's lots and lots of ramifications top to bottom. And it's gotten really, really controversial, especially from a creator standpoint, from artist standpoint, whose works are being copied, like flat out copied, whose style is being copied because of these AI programs. Right. Now, today's conversation isn't going to be about like the existential question of the meaning of AI and sentience and self-awareness, right? I'll save that for a different podcast on a different day. Today, I want to speak specifically as to like AI affecting the business world, especially for us as content creators. Now, my understanding, it's very rudimentary, mind you. Like I want to preface this conversation by saying that I haven't dove deep into learning about AI and what it does and how it functions as of right now. However, I want to have this conversation because coming more and more into the online space, coming more and more into the content creator space, this topic of AI is becoming really, really prevalent as a tool for business builders. So, from a business standpoint, I see it I've already experienced it actually, being used by businesses as an automation tool, which is cool, right? Like I think that's really, really helpful, especially we've already seen it like for the last couple of decades. Businesses have been using automation for a while now, and AI has allowed it to become more refined, right? Like the automation in business has become, it's become more elegant. That's a good word for it. The example that comes up in my mind off the top of my head is, the answering services, right? Like we've all been stuck on telephone calls where we're responding to an automated message and an automated system, and it's a real pain in the butt, right? Like, okay, press 1 if you, are in the U.S. Press 2 if you're driving your car. Press 3, whatever the options is, right? And then, you get to like option 20 if you want to speak to an operator, and you press option 20, it doesn't even take you to an operator. It takes you to the next automated prompt. Like, okay, so is your question about X, Y, and Z, or is it about A, B, and C? And you got to go through another set of options. So it was really annoying in the past, and so AI, especially these chatbots, have gotten really, really elegant in that yes, you still know it's AI, but it doesn't feel like AI anymore. It feels like you're actually having a productive conversation as opposed to waiting for the next option. So from that standpoint, from an automation standpoint, from businesses, it can be really, really super super helpful, and again, an elegant way to keep your clients and your customers served at a very, very high level. And that's not the only way. Of course, there are other ways where that AI can serve as automation in businesses. Now, in the context of content creation, and even with chatbots, actually, the way I understand AI to work, and actually I forgot about this part. I got into talking about AI, but I was prefacing the conversation that I don't know that much about AI. But my understanding of it is that, or at least the versions that I've really hearing about a lot lately, is that these programs, these applications or algorithms, what they do, they're not really true AI in that it's thinking for itself necessarily, not in the applications anyway that I'm talking about, but rather it's programs that are it's aggregating information from the internet, and it's doing so at a much faster speed than any one of us could do as individuals, right? Because then we got to go through, the searches, the search engines, whatever search engine you happen to be utilizing, and then you have to compile and process that information yourself. These AI programs and bots and things are actually doing that for us in whatever kind of application they happen to be applied for, whether it's chat bots or whether it's these art, quote unquote art AIs that generate these photos, these things that people are posting on Instagram. It's just an aggregate and a collection of different bits of information from all over the internet, which is really cool because, the internet is a vast place with nearly infinite amounts of information. And so to have a machinery or to have a program do that for us, it's pretty amazing. Now, from a content creation standpoint, however, I want you to understand these AI, it's not going to do the work for us, right? Right? It's not going to do the work for us, and it shouldn't, right? It shouldn't, because number one, it's not your work if it's AI, right? I've heard people talk about, I'll use AI to write my emails. I'll use AI to write my blog post. I'll use AI to generate the script for my next podcast episode. Don't do that. Don't do that, because it's not your work, right? Like, again, the AI is an aggregate of all the information out there that's in the internet. So it's piecing together other people's work. And for you to claim it as your own work is really, really erroneous, and in fact is illegal, right? It's illegal for you to claim AI content as your own content, right? Right? Because again, it's not created, it's an aggregate. So really, really be mindful of that. As a content creator, it's not going to do the work for you. Now, I have heard other content creators talk about how they can use AI to just help them with ideas, and that's totally fine too. I don't necessarily personally think that that's needed. If you're just looking for ideas, use your brain, right? Right? Like, do a quick Google search or listen to other podcasters and use your own brain to come up with ideas, right? I think the biggest risk for me with AI, it's not that it's going to take over the world or anything like that. Again, that's a whole different podcast with a whole different conversation. I think the biggest risk as content creators, and really as the public, users in general of the internet, is that it turns us into lazy thinkers. Right? Let's not become lazy thinkers. Yes, the AI can be an amazing tool, but it can also be a very, very dangerous crutch. I think I've already talked about how the internet has already turned us into lazy thinkers, and now with the advent of AI and how well it works in aggregating information for us, it has the potential to make us into even lazier thinkers than we already are. So be mindful of AI and its applications, especially as you start applying it, because I get it. It's totally cool. The stuff that these AI programs are doing is absolutely mind-boggling. And again, it's really starting to kind of become super, super elegant that you can't tell whether you're chatting, to a bot or to an actual human. That's super amazing, and I'm really, really impressed by that. However, again, really be mindful and really be careful of the level of excitement and I guess temper that with caution, right? Like really be cautious how you approach that and how you use it, and don't let it be a massive, massive crutch for you that will in the long term turn you into a blubber of unused brain mass, right? A blob of unused brain matter because you've become a lazy thinker. So that's my take on AI. Take it for what you want. You might think differently. You might love AI, but I understand that if you use it in a way that you're using your mind less, that's probably something that you got to reconsider, right? All right. So that's my message for today. What do you guys think? Let me know. Of course, the best place to have further conversations is our Facebook group. So come join us on Facebook. That is an amazing community. Facebook.com/groups/path of the network marketer. Of course, if you're not already following the show, hit the plus sign at the top of the app, whatever app you happen to be listening on. And if you feel like it, if you found value in this content or any past episodes that you've enjoyed, please share the episode, right? Share the podcast. I'd really appreciate it. And of course, if you feel like leaving a rating and review, I'd really appreciate that as well. A 5-star would be amazing. But anyways, that's just me asking for vanity metrics. Beyond that, we'll catch you in the next episode. So until then, be well, be safe. We'll see you in the next episode.